Today is a toast. I will start the toast now, but I think it is natural for the specified toast of the entire empty coordination among the teachers. And then there are different forms in other places. Understand. First, let's have the toast done, and then I will briefly explain the difference between the toast I am inheriting. So let's start by looking at the differences. Okay, let's take a seat after moving back a bit. From now on, I will do a toast more towards the previous system, etc. Please do it while paying close attention to the differences.
昨日ちょっと飲みすぎだもんだから気楽に動きますので。
Did you notice the difference? I still haven't fully removed the excess tension, so I trembled a bit too much, but I'll explain the technical aspects. The first difference lies in this part. In the case of the 50 style, what is called nukite, spear hand, is actually not a nukite. While you train with nukite, the finished product actually represents the form of striking with this kind of grip. What is actually being expressed in the midst of this is the keiko ken, where the correct form involves extending the index finger like a fluorescent light. When breaking down, you strike with this entirely. So the current form, if, for example, a left strike were to come, truth be told, it would strike out sharply. Basically, it's this movement. So first you need to remember to twist your upper body here, take it with a scoop, then pull your leg. Basically, when learning this movement, the fluorescence starts from the feet. But in reality, you need to induce this by moving your upper body, which must be mentioned here.
これを誘導するということこの中で出てこない。
So following the form, thrust like this, and here you strike the ribs with this fluorescence fist. Earlier I mentioned that the position of the ribs is an
先ほど
upward
私
strike.
あの中であばらの位置というのは打ち上げだと言いましたね。
When using this
こういう技
technique,
術を使うと
you
きは
must
逆に
push
突き下
down
げないといけない
instead. This requires a
これ
special
は
grip.
特殊な握りに入ります
Understand
の
these
で
things.
そういうことを
So
理解
it's
ですから
interesting. Some of the old and modern
面白い
teachers are
この中で
mentioned
この
here.
先生方が舐めてら
In
っしゃいま
both
す
ancient and modern times, this kind of thrusting attack often occurs.
結構来る
At times like this, the movement of striking simultaneously on the opposite side. This is also done in the ideology of Chen. It's the same.
総人の方はこれやりますから一緒です。で
Just thrust with all your might. Don't hesitate to try thrusting. Can't thrust, huh? Absolutely can't thrust. This trajectory is absolutely a trajectory that the opponent cannot thrust into. At this moment, the opponent's strike completely stops. There's no way it will extend from here. This thrust here will just keep extending as it is. So how important and enjoyable it is to have strikes coming out on the shoulder in this kind of situation. This absolutely won't improve. No matter how many times you try, it's the same. It's the opposite. Here, accumulation keeps accumulating rapidly.
こちらは蓄積がどんどんどんどん
I'm fine now because I'm not putting that one in.
私もその
If you do it seriously, you will enter a striking form from here with a bang.
バーンという形
Of
の
course,
突き
this
に
is
入りますから
disadvantageous even
も
if
ちろん
it's
これ
not
は
like this.
これじゃなくてもこういう形は不利
For
です
example,
例えば
among the strikes I taught earlier, it becomes a skill to lightly grip without gripping so much and then thrusting out from there. It will become even stronger as a strike.
打撃としてはさらに強くなり
So,
ます
the impact from here on, the impact that will come in with a bang from now on is even stronger.
ですから
So in a
拳
sense,
を
it's
握る
something
っ
that
ていうのは
advanced
ある意味
practitioners should avoid clenching their fists.
できるだけ上級者は避けないと
It's
いけないんだけど
impossible to teach that from the beginning.
最初からそ
And
れを
this strike
教
is
えたって
something that is
できるわけない
mastered
し
at an
そして
even higher
その
level
打
of
撃は
strikes like
こういった
this.
打撃のさらに
Beginners should
上のレベル
always
で
clench their
身に
fists
つけるもんですから
properly.
初心者はあくまでも
I'll say this
ちゃんと握る
deliberately.
しかし
This strike.
これあえて言い
So,
ます
if you ask what happens when you jab with a clenched fist, it's stronger this way. Those who have exchanged blows in a full contact match will understand this immediately. From here on, this force, this thrust, the ribs are open. Naturally, this side will deliver twice the impact.
自然にこちらの方が倍の打撃に加わります
Please make sure to
このことをこれ
understand
よく
this
理
well.
解しておいてくださいですから
Therefore, please understand within this that you cannot do this kind of strike without doing it like this. This is the part of a straight punch. All
よろ
right.
しいですね
So straight punches are done like this, but please try to understand that this is what a straight punch is. Try not to hit each other when practicing
組
this.
んで当てないようにして
Pair up and try pushing each other a little
組んで
bit.
ちょっとやってみて
You will understand it right away. Try to remember it by pairing up and pushing with your
指先で
fingertips.
押す
Are
こ
you
とによって
ready?
それを覚えてみてくださいいいですか
When this kind of thrust comes in like this, isn't it like
こう入っ
this?
てくる時には
Right now I'm holding it like this. If it comes in swiftly like this, it's fine.
これはもう確実にこれバーチャーと入ってきたら平気なんです
It will definitely go in. I'm poking. It won't go in, right?
入らないでしょ
That's where the importance of the swinging technique comes in.
だから振り方がどんだけ重要かというのはそこで出てくる
Remember that here.
そのことをここ
When
で
exchanging blows like this, do it in this form at the same time. However, the correct way is to extend it with only the index finger clenched.
抵抗権って人差し指だけを握った方これで突き
If you start thrashing at the right moment, the opponent won't be able to
相手
move.
動けなくなる
It's not straight. It's not straight.
そうそうまっすぐじゃないよまっすぐじゃないんです
It
よ
goes in like this.
こう入るんですよ
That's right. It goes in like this here.
そうそうそうそうそうここでこう入る
I did it like this with my shoulder. It smoothly goes in like this. If you can get underneath at the moment your opponent swings, it becomes
相手の
real.
振れた瞬間に下に入れ切れたら本物になるんです
You might not grasp the first timing completely, so please take your time and try it thoroughly. Please focus on that point. You'll catch on. Understood. That's right, like this.
ついてきますねはいついて
Like this. This is how you get in like this. Techniques coming from below never hit for sure.
こうです
Because it's like this, this hand won't reach. This hand will go in with a bang from now on. If it's like this, I'll lose. Even if you try to push a bit like this, I'll push with this. Push me. It's fine to push with the tail facing now. Can you defeat it? Is it okay to defeat it now? It won't work, right? It's hitting, but it's almost ineffective, right? Let's try it one more time. No matter how many times you do it, it won't work. It won't hit at all. Absolutely, I slipped out now, but because it goes in like this, the opponent's attack will never hit. It's important to understand that point properly. The elbow faces down towards it. If the elbow faces outwards, the opponent's thrust is coming in. If the elbow is pointing outward, you have to strike here. If the elbow is pointing outward, this is strictly here, so you have to strike here at this moment. Even when it's coming at you, you must enter here without fail. Isn't this sneaky? Just being hit should feel sneaky. Yes, they will come at you like this with the fingertips, fingertip to fingertip. Make sure to do it like this. Can everyone do it? If you can't, ask. Please give it a try. Yes, it's like this with the shoulder. It's fine as the shoulder. Okay, definitely. When they come at you here, while twisting and pulling out. Enter here while twisting and pulling out. This is how you enter with the shoulder. So in the next move, when it comes to the shoulder area, the movement of the shoulder should be like this, right? So if it goes in like this from here, then it will just go in smoothly. And then also control over there with this grip. With this kind of grip, it tends to go in, so it's better to start with a normal grip if it's going to go in. We will grip it like this here. So as long as it doesn't retract, it's good to apply oil. So if the grip is wrong, everything is wrong. It's not like this, it will slip out. When you grip it for the upward strike, this is fine for the upward strike. But for the downward strike, please grip it securely like this. Do your best and then do it in a single formation. This is definitely the grip to take. Yes, because this doesn't retract, the opponent's oil goes burn. If the timing is right, you can open the ribs. Of course, if the timing is off, it won't open. Timing is something that can only be done between each other. Just having this kind of technique makes a huge difference in everything. So I want you to understand that clearly and practice it. Firmly enter with this. This is the prototype. So the person over there has already stopped here. The person with the pre-war background has definitely been doing this so far. Now this part has been left out. I protested several times, but just because you've trained your fingertips doesn't mean you can defeat someone with your fingers. It only works on the throat and eyes. You can deflect or strike a golden ball with your fingertips, but fundamentally, I never engage in the ridiculous idea of hitting ribs with fingertips to remove them. My argument is that by training your fingertips, you can grip and attach. By training them, you can insert this and make it work. Please understand that. So if I just keep doing this diligently, even if it seems like a stupid thing to do and it takes 10 years to be able to use it, by clenching your fist within a year, you can defeat your opponent even more. The point of training is not just in the fingertips, but in strengthening the grip and similar aspects. Please understand this tendency from the beginning. Let's move on to the next. From now on, grip like this. Try it out a bit there, just that part. I think you saw the difference just now. You pulled it just now, right? Pull it like this. How is the breakdown being taught here, Professor Kasagawa? Try it out. Let's start by trying it out. Yes, hold it firmly so it won't come off. Let's try to see if it can be removed. Absolutely do not let it come off. It seems like it's coming off now, but let's see if it can be removed by someone who is really strong. Give it a try. Hey, do you know anyone who looks the strongest? If it's someone in a full relationship, they should have strong arm strength, so hold it a bit firmly to prevent it from coming off. Like this. Can I try to remove it since I'm holding it? Yes. Watch closely. Yes, go ahead. Yes, go ahead. This is going to be a test of arm strength, isn't it? But this should be easy for anyone to take it off. I mean, you can't beat someone with strong strength if you hold it from the bottom. If you hold this, it will come off if you take it from above. Why do you take this? That's cipher. I think I have a memory, but when I'm held, it's like a cipher. I'm doing this to hold my hand. I'm doing it to hold my opponent's hand. I said that in my previous lesson, so if you can hold it, please, I'll take it here because of this. Any human being turns upside down, so we'll be connected this time. Here comes this hand. You can twist and drop it. I'll come forward when I get there. If you go forward, just fall up, leave this foot, and drop it with a palm. Yes, I can't move anymore. I've moved almost the same as my shoulder now. Hey, okay, this shoulder did this way. This is what I got in my shoulder. Grabbing with your shoulder is not grabbing your hand. Do you understand to grab the opponent's hand? So if you take a step, twist at this stage, it's twisted here. So the next foot on the other side is the current type. Pull your legs and pull your legs. Pull your legs, pull your legs. Pull your feet and pull your feet. Pull your feet, pull your feet. The opposite foot is now designated. First of all, this comes in at once, but the original shoulder is get this in and get more here. So my foot moves only through the shoulder. Try to understand that. First, from this form, because the opponent will follow, twist your body and remove it. If you get a Navarro, try to get this right here. Yes, please. You got this. Please take a close look at this. Shoulders will go away. This is how you do the shoulder. When you get there, move your shoulder and feet while going over there like this. The next person will move here. If you kick like this, it's over. Kasagawa-sensei, watch how to use your hands carefully. Is it okay if I take it like this? Drop it this way. It's fine to just go out like that. It's effective even like this. While moving this further to the other side like this, it may seem like it's on the shoulder, but if you pull it here and tighten it, you can finish it with a snap. Once you snap, it's over. Who is throwing now? Are you throwing? In terms of form, this is how you do it towards what you like, right? Firmly focus on this point at this moment. Hold it like this with your index finger lightly raised. Just decide to keep this line as it is. That's why. I'm sorry. If you're told it hurts, won't you lose strength? So remember the shape firmly and smoothly. Next, keep this shape firmly here as it is. Practice like this? Yes, try it. Next, try this part. There's not much to break down in this part.
人差し指を軽く浮かした状態でこう握る。先生、そのままこの筋をこのままここに決めちゃうの。
So let's just move on to the next. Yes, hold on.
だから
Yes, we'll go up to that point, right? Yes, that's fine. You see, from now on, regarding this part,
ね、だからスーッとここしっかり
there's not
こう
much
して
hidden
形
behind
を覚える
breaking it down.
ね、次は
Actually,
そのまま
it's about
ここにこう
approaching the other
形
party
をして
in the current
取って練習
form.
してはい、やってみてごらん。次の
The opponent is incredibly tenacious and has strong attacks that are hard to throw. When they don't fall for it, immediately step in and strike their muscles, and then go straight for their eyes with their fingers.
そのまま次まで行って
That's the correct form. This is what is known as a backup technique. I think it comes out within the form.
はい、いいです。
But those who have taken my seminar a few times
これ
will
ただ
say
この部分っていうのはそれほど分
that a technique doesn't always have to be a technique. It's okay to receive all attacks. When teaching about the old masters, dangerous techniques are mostly about receiving about half of it, they say, and teach. It's always about deceiving the opponent and teaching. That's the original way. Therefore, techniques that should originally be attacking with fingertips end up being received. Also, earlier I mentioned about reversing, but the opponent is strong and quite more. Just one more. People with thick synovial fluid in their joints are less susceptible to joint locks. Actually, this is what you do in such situations. At this moment, grasp it as you did before, with both hands. As I mentioned earlier, this may not work in some cases. If you do it like this, no matter how much they try to escape, it will come off. Please remember this well. The characteristic of how it comes off is always there. If you do it like this, it will come off. First, understand this firmly. Actually, it's like this, holding from below with the shoulder. Holding from below means understanding that you are holding the other person's hand. It's good if you understand that even when both hands are grasped at this time, it's like this in the shoulder, since more than half of the open part comes off. If you remove it like this, while putting in the removal tool, it will fit into this shape. So please try it while understanding that part first. I intentionally do not disassemble this within the technique of the reverse technique earlier. I think you can understand most of it with this. I intentionally do not disassemble it. Also, this part is not particularly difficult, so I won't disassemble it. It's a specified type. Please wait a moment. This part of the fingertip. Basically, it's taken in the form of hitting the temple. Even now, everyone says it's the temple. In the old days, they only hit the neck. The way to hit the neck, you can hit each other with this, but it's not very good, so I'll just show you the form. I'll hit lightly, so just like hitting straight and hitting diagonally downwards. Just remember the spacing. This is sideways. Remember, I didn't have power before, but it really worked well. Now I understand. When doing it like this in that specified way. I mean, the way I did it with bread is different. So the difference between the old and this one, how different it is. It would be good if you could understand that within this. So when you strike the neck, I didn't explain it in there, but the neck is not exactly sideways. If you strike slightly diagonally downwards from the opponent's kinetic energy, it is possible to impart an impact on everything. As for old traditional things, it's definitely not like this, straight sideways. Going in diagonally, when it's decided, it becomes like this, just the way you hit the neck. Let's stop using all that force. Just try to see how different we are from each other. Have them try it a little. Just try a little. Absolutely don't use full force. Don't twist your neck. It's not that it doesn't work, but the way it works is different. It works either way. That impact is an impact. What is a better impact than just that feeling? I'll hit lightly right next to this sensation, and then where to hit this sensation. You were wrong, right? It's a different strike. If the quality of the strike is different, the damage inflicted on the opponent will also be different. This is a horizontal strike. You should strike it firmly with a bang. So, it's not that a straight horizontal strike is ineffective. A straight horizontal strike is effective as a strike. However, the types of 2 or 3 silvers are different, so let's learn different types properly. This is my guidance. So the older folks, understanding why it is done in that way, would be good if you could understand when doing things like setting trap tests. Right angles are absolutely effective. Just because you hit at a right angle, anyone would think it's a strike. But the human body is different. It's about having something tailored to the human body. Only understanding that it is in the old form of the mold would be appreciated.
だから古い方々でなんでそういう風にして打つのかというのを理解してもらえばいい。試し割りなんかやるときは直角の方が絶対効くのよ。ちょっとずると直角の当たれば誰でも打撃になると思ってるけど、人体は違うんだという人体に合わせたものを持っているのが古い形の型にあるものだということだけを理解してもらえばいい。
You understand, right? Please understand the difference in these strikes. Yes. Then now, since I think you understand the difference in the strikes during the shudo, let's move on. This part from the kick. It was a shudo. Yes, that's fine. That's good there. There are various interpretations of this part as well. Why pull back after kicking? Originally, when it comes to kicking, it is correct to step forward after kicking. It's not that pulling back after kicking is wrong, but pulling back after kicking is a technique in itself. Basically, ideally, this should be a megiri. The pulling back technique, fundamentally, for the most part, the knee is ideally correct. Well, as a shoulder, I'm doing a front kick. So if you were originally going to do a front kick and then hit with your elbow, it's definitely more correct to move forward. Because kicking, moving forward, and then hitting with the elbow is definitely stronger, right? If you pull back before doing any technique, there's no way you can hit with your elbow after pulling back. Once you kick and move back, the opponent's arm is out of reach, so there's no way you can hit with your elbow. But why are you doing this? It's because this is not just one technique from the beginning. So, from a neck strike to a front kick technique, if the opponent is completely immobilized after a strong neck strike, for example, whether it's a knee kick or a front kick, probably anyone can do it. The person who received the first strike generally understands it by sensation, so that is understandable. So why strike with the elbow here and follow up with a back strike? Because completely different techniques are involved in it. It becomes confusing. One is to kick and then perform the breakdown of the back strike. One way is to kick, step forward, and actually enter the back strike from the elbow strike. Therefore, when broken down, the elbow and back strike may be reversed. Another is when the technical breakdown from the kick is completed, and the next one is a completely different breakdown. Actually, it transitions into a back strike from evading when caught. So in this form, you kick and then perform it, right? After kicking, bring the trailing leg over here. If you do that, this part will come off. Like now, try to grasp it a little. By doing this, backing it up, there is one technique. It's good to think of it like that. The way to expose the opponent's hidden move, I've done it before. In Seigun Chin, this part is a technique to remove. In Seigun Chin, if you remove it from here, it won't come out on the shoulder right away. Since the past, I have firmly grasped the technique of striking the opponent's midsection with a standing sword. Therefore, always maintain the posture to insert this hand at any time. Actually, this part of Seigun Chin is like this. I've been doing this shoulder movement twice. Actually, if this part comes off, pivot your root foot and step forward. Immediately go into a thrust with a standing sword. They say a standing sword doesn't come out from the shoulder, but actually, a standing sword frequently appeared in the back. That's beautiful, isn't it? It's the same even with the current method. When detaching, go in that way. Pull this part from the kicking leg back diagonally. I consciously pulled it directly to the side. Now, if you pull back diagonally, the opponent will come forward. If you miss, just follow up with a reverse strike. And that's pretty much the current form. Next, let's do this. It's fine if both of us understand the content. Moving on to the next. Let's practice this part a little. Let's focus on this for a bit. From now on, up until now. Show me this first. Facing forward. No, from the front. Yes, turn around. I will do this part in the actual way I'm not consciously teaching now. Please try to take the opponent's joint at that part. I will check if it's correct. Try it out. If it's wrong, I'll correct everything. I'll attack again once more. Did you get it? Please tighten it more. Please bend your elbow. Bend your elbow. Please push the opponent's hand with your elbow. Does it hurt? Yes. Should I put it on for you? Yes, please. Yes, please. It's not working at all. It might be inevitable to talk about the difference in muscle strength. Because there are parts that are not just about muscle strength, I will tell you later. Yes, go ahead. Securely fasten it. At the same time, it's not decided. The positions are all off. This is what was mentioned earlier after this. If you don't get into attacking the weak point from earlier, because I don't understand this. Yes, let's give it a try. Teacher, give it a try and make a call. Yes, go ahead. Is it connecting? Isn't it holding up? Is it working? Yes, then teacher, give it a try. Yes, go ahead. Yes, make sure to dial properly. It's not connecting, right? Even if the location is different, it's impossible because the location is off. Everyone doesn't really understand the point, so that's why. Well then, Professor Hasegawa, I'll lightly join in. Please resist. Yes, then let's start over there. This time, we'll move on to attacking the pressure points. Yes, one more time, this time on the arm. Please extend your arm. Yes, from now on, actually. That was just a matter of angle. If you understand the general position of the pressure point this time, this technique won't work. You see, because everyone says this is the elbow joint. I think most of you are targeting around the elbow joint. It won't be effective here. That pressure point can be targeted when taking the opponent in the opposite direction. Towards the back side of this arm part, the trigger point called tensei is not visible. It is written as Heaven's Well. Written as Heaven's Well, it is called tensei. It rises a little above the elbow. This is a human vital point. It doesn't have to be pinpoint accurate, but it's fine. The intention is to cover most of this area. Please remove this joint. Okay, then I will remove this. First, remove near the elbow joint. I'll try to make him resist. Please resist. I wonder how his shoulders are. Yes, brace yourself. Yes, I can brace myself. Okay, I'll press the pressure point. Yes, go ahead. Did you understand? When I'm giving a lecture on pressure points, this is what we call this kind of technique. For those who don't know the specific location of this pressure point, this technique is completely meaningless. So even though it's called the elbow joint, this is the elbow joint. By moving according to the principle of leverage like this, certainly when it comes with a sharp snap, there are times when it works. However, if it shifts for a moment, it won't work at all. This has no effect, but this is a pressure point, completely unable to move. Please understand that point. Yes, whether you can grasp that place completely or not. Please work together and try yes. Go ahead. Let's firmly master that place. This is too much. So about the way to grasp it. Narrow it down like this, and also control it. So the shoulder is not directly above, going in like this. I'll use the narrowing inside the shoulder, not directly above, while narrowing towards the inside. Understood. A little more, and it's done. I'll do the part of the upcoming reversal. Speaking technically, it's better to be caught by the opponent after it's done. It's better to be caught by the opponent after it's done. Try taking my hand. Is it okay to take it as a form? It feels like I can grasp this elbow joint like this. It's not good if I grasp it perfectly, in the middle of it. Basically, everything comes off with this, so it doesn't come out in the shoulder. But from the beginning, this form exists as a hidden technique. So the moment you do it like this, it's a technique for the upcoming reversal technique. When you do this, the muscle comes forward, so hitting the muscle. Actually, this is the upcoming flipping technique. The way to use it at that time is, I'm taking it like this. If you go through the shoulder, it will pull like this. The feathers float and come like this. You can hit it with a bang with this. This technique is not particularly difficult. I won't break it down. Please try it after understanding this. Basically speaking, this technique of capturing, once it's perfectly applied, it won't come off, but you can understand that at any point during the process, it can be released. If it's released, it's really dangerous. So since I have this, if I take the joint and this, the opponent can't move. It's not a problem, even if you pull back. Right now, this is also applied. So, to release it, understanding that it's always there, in a sense, I will move on to the next part. The next part is now, this too. The movement he is doing now, it's a movement done in the form of a dead body, right? Actually, we haven't learned this kind of movement. We learned this within the dead body form. But in the old form, the part that is moving like this now enters like this, enter in this form, then sweep the leg. Holding this thrust with the middle finger called next Chugokoken, in the form of thrusting out the middle finger. Thrusting is an old traditional form. Let's do one more leg sweep. Sweep, I swept the leg just now. This is a dead body type, so I'm doing it like this. When you actually catch a human body, people will never fall like this. So you have to lift the opponent into the technique, lift them up, and then drop them down. So when you enter like this, at the time of sweeping, the foot of the sweeping on the opposite side, stand straight up and push the opponent up with your knees. Understand that unless you lift the opponent's back up here while sweeping here, the opponent will not float up. Don't trip them. If you don't understand that you lift your opponent with your knee, you won't use this technique at all. Please remember it well, so you can come after you stand up securely. Next, you go into a thrust with your middle finger extended, in that regard. First, try it out, including the teachers. Try knocking them down with just a trip. Try to see if they fall or not. I will clearly not collapse. Please try it. Please take the kick. This is left kick, left front kick. Slowly, this is the form. My shoulder also fits like this. So it's not like this. Actually, in this raising stage, you should originally put your elbow. As for the shoulder, regarding the impact of this elbow, it is hidden within the shoulder. And next, you won't fall, you won't fall. So when you strike, do this. Use your knees. You must use your knees to lift it up, otherwise you won't fall forward. Please try this. If you fall down with a leg sweep, try to knock down. Please lift with your knee. If it's the knee, lift lightly. Remember that you won't fall down with a leg sweep, so keep that in mind. Just sweeping won't knock a person down. Remember to lift with the knee, so make sure to do it like this. If you don't win, in the end, this technique will not count. Remember that. I'm doing fine with the designated type I'm using now. Just understand the content and kick. The content is what it is. Lift with the knee. If you sweep the leg, you won't fall, so lift with the knee. You can come over here when it comes like this. Enter here like this. Use this place. Stand up straight like this. It works when you stand up straight. Yes, yes, yes. Ah, this hand is dead. This hand is playing around. When you take the left foot, you have to lift this up strongly at this time. Even though you're doing it like this, while lifting this, raise your right hand firmly. Yes, that's right, that's right. The next move is the movement for the upcoming lower level block. It's the lower level block of shikotachi. The lower level block of shikotachi in front of the foot. This is called the lower row, the technique of the four limbs. The basic is to throw and hit. So please understand and solve that. In the case of 50, Lu Seiunchin is the same. And also Saifa, when entering into the opponent's space, if you don't go in with a reverse or a throw, it's a mistake. As for Cypher, it moves like this. Catch the opponent a little. At this moment, Cypher's technique in this form comes out on this side. If the opponent is reversed, then it's reversed. This is the basic. Basic, bring this foot here separately. It's not. So I'm standing here do this way. That is not in the word. This is just for this formal to teach. Just standing in this way. If you take this, if you draw, this is also a. Have it reversed. Take it quickly. If you receive a parn shoulders, this is almost on the shoulder now. Move so we're together. This is what capture the opponent, how to do it. The shape is, we are in the current form. When you catch an opponent, take it in the form of entering. Everyone says it's a lie, I have to fall. But the structure of the human body, even like that, the people have a structure that they can collapse. Please understand, it's funny, collapse. But people collapse. I'll do it. Please watch. It's okay if it doesn't collapse. Is it strange? Why couldn't you resist? It's because the strength has drained out. In several training seminars, I have been saying strengthening one's own muscle strength is also a technique. And not using force against the opponent is also a skill. I did it now. In a way that the opponent cannot exert force, and in a way that the opponent's balance is disrupted. Because I understand it well, I was able to do this. It's not like I did it several times by repeating it. Eventually, you will be able to do it. We won't do it in this training seminar only, because we have done it times before. It's interesting when people collapse. So I thought they would struggle like crazy. But depending on the angle and direction, they can collapse all at once. I'm starting to understand that. So the angle is important. The pressure point is also important. What I am holding now is a form where no matter how hard the opponent tries, their strength doesn't come through instantly. I end up breaking it at the beginning. Whether I can do this or not is a big deal, because I am resisting from the beginning now. It doesn't work very well. But here's the power of this wrist, because I missed it. So the whole thing collapsed. This is only the point now. I will teach you. One more time. Arm is drawn. Take a look at the brochure, the front side. There's a place where you're drawing. They're also on the thumb side of the little finger side, the acupoint named transverse bone. I think there is this point. Firmly with thumb and middle finger. With little finger, the opponent's on the little finger side. I'm going to break this place. This, when this is crumbling, only half the power. This must be broken. Hold on a little. It's not crumbling right now. It doesn't work because it doesn't crumble. When it's collapsed, this, you can't hold much. This is me, this. Now control. Because I'm in control, I can't hold much. This will collapse. Here's the wrist. Here it is. You can't hold this. Make sure you take this. Even if you hold it with this one, it seems strong. Your opponent will be stronger. This will break the opponent's power. So hold on here. Here we go. And even the little finger will collapse. You put it in this collapse. So take time. Absolutely what? This looks strong and weak. Yes, roughly now. Standing 4 legs. What is? Basically slowly. The orbit of the lower receiving at the time of 4-legged standing. You understand? The orbit of the lower receiving. Not like this. You're supposed to be in a circular orbit like this. You're in a circular orbit because it takes a circular orbit. Taking a circular orbit, take this form. I teach you in this, so I took it here right now. Take it here. Take it here. Take the same orbit. Take this. I teach you in this. Please do it. That's the circle gauge. Next into this. Yes. Hold it as it is. Yes. It's okay now, these 2 parts, especially to all the teachers. I hope they understand the way to use the feet. As for the hands, it's a rotational strike, and it's also a form of receiving. Please practice while remembering that it's also a form of striking using this part. However, please remember, what you absolutely need to remember is actually what comes after that. Next, how to use your feet. Yeah. Enter like this now. Please remember to step in firmly. That's right. Then someone greet. Can we do it in 10 sets with the current movement? Let's try. This, when the opponent really comes in. Can I do it with this? No, you can't. The way you use your hind legs, that's why it's different. Form. The form is completely. Don't look at the hand movements. If you do it like this, it will go in smoothly. Take it slow. Make the most of this place. In terms of shape, if you take it slowly, in terms of shape, this is fine, right? But what I really use is mostly this, you know? Towards the opponent, going in with a sharp motion, firmly within this. As the footwork using these 10 sets, I want you to remember. One more. It does a different shape. What we do in this move, this is your favorite posture. This is a different form. When you enter with a parn, slowly push the opponent. This is how you enter. If you make the next move, this way people will fall. So in the form, to use this part of the shape to the maximum, firm the movement of the foot. Let's think. If you can do this, technically, this move is, it's rather close to the movement of the Aikido system, but when it comes to foot handling, this is in the original 50 seconds. This is the movement of the foot, how to use it, because it is the way of thinking of each person. Try to use it well. If it was a blow to me, it would be this. Kick is good from this foot handling. Kick out, if you want to do it well. You will be able to. The movement of the foot is firm, especially the technique of lining first, if you do it while remembering, because it can be used very well. Let's remember only the backing technique. One more. You don't have to cross in the current form when crossing the right foot. How to use your left hand. If you tend firmly, because you will be able to move very well. Remain in this. If I say now, in the movement of the foot, please remember this. Let your feet do this. Let me do this while putting it on the side of the opponent, because the move is important. In this form, in the form of remembering feet more than hands, please tend to shape. That will increase the level. Only this part is good. Make this part possible at any time, front left, right at once, coming in this direction. So take a look. If it's normal parn, you have to be able to take it at any time. Parn. So the key is, let's wear these parts firmly, of course. There is no problem with this part. This part also receives, and there are many things when it comes to swinging. That's fine. Just the part there is, because there is not so much depth. I will do it today by remembering the height of my feet. Then, let's get in. Regarding this part is still the case. Basically, when you are extremely close, knee kick, at times like that, or when grabbed, twisting while striking like this, that's generally fine. Therefore, this kind of form in this form, very close. If it's a shoulder grab, it's going in this direction. That's where the knee kick comes in, like this with the knee. This is what it means in this form. It's basically the usual breakdown, and that's fine. It's just that between us, the difference in designated direction with the designated direction. We'll do it in this form for now. We use the middle Achilles tendon to strike the bladder area. That's how we use it, but this is a bit different from others. And that's fine. This is how we strike. If you understand that difference, it's quite all right. Let's move on to the next. Let's do it at this level. I'll kick you. Hurry up there. That's about it. How do you break this down, teacher? Let's give it a try. But sorry. I'm not in the mood right now. Try kicking at this distance. Will the kick really hit? No, hitting. Are you kicking at a distance that works? Not. That's not a hit. It's a hit. Get out on the back. You can't go in unless you're on your knees. Then why do you kick it in front of you? Do you pull back? You can't kick it. I can't kick this first. So this knee kick, I can't use it. But this is it. If not,
でもこれがね、受けじゃなければ蹴れるんです。
I can kick. I don't know. Everything is perfect in distance because it's like this.
距離的に全て完璧でしょ。こうなってるから蹴ってこうするから。
Kick and do this. You can hit it with a bomb. This is all this because this is distance based.
これだからほら距離的に。だから
So your shoulder is I've never been wrong. Pull as it is to everyone in reverse. Let me show you. In this form, kick toe because I poked this. Next is the following technique. You can kick it. I've been saying this many times since the beginning. The stand is to suppress the opponent. Throw is for reverse. So if you can't fit in here, it ends halfway. Shoulders are from the beginning. I only teach you that much halfway. That's how I've been doing it from the beginning. This is important. Therefore, when you get caught, this is the most important. When you kick and snap, always take this position to fit in here. All right, let's practice here. You see, when you hold it like this, you do it like this. So kick and face this way. Oh, that too. If it goes through the shoulder, you reverse your feet. And then here, so you do it like this. Strike with a thud, that's it. Reverse your hands, reverse your hands, reverse your hands. Yes, let's return it like this once you grip it. Like this, yes, and then like this. This is the last part of the person who is doing their best, right? What was that posture just now? Please try it. The last part. Okay, let's move on. Yes, that's good. That's fine. How do you break that down? Grab the opponent's hand coming towards you, catch it, and twist it in. Yes, sorry, teacher. Please watch and try it. But don't just push carelessly. You have to push as if you're going to knock them down. That didn't hit because it didn't slip out. This is, you see, a breakdown from that old era. But it's okay even now. If you keep your distance from the opponent and take a firm grip, you can do it. In the old days, even in Okinawa, it has curly hair. And this is the case in Okinawa, right? People who have started investing in that handheld sword within their own group, if they have a mustache, and furthermore, if a beard grows when they are promoted, this indicates their rank. In the case of Okinawa, those with both a mustache and a beard are considered to be high-ranking individuals. This tendency is also seen in China to some extent. In this area, the interpretation from ancient times was to twist and cut off the neck using curly hair and a beard, which was the interpretation from ancient times. Now that interpretation has become somewhat impossible, and currently, it has turned into a movement of taking hands. Please try taking hands again. Teacher, it's just a demonstration, so it's okay to be normal. Can you take this off? You probably can't. You need to wedge it in. Isn't the flow and decomposition of this current flowing together with us? Yes, that's right, isn't it? That's right. But if the opponent can do a 1-2 with the teacher, can you do that? You can't, right? You shouldn't break it down if you can't do it. But that's just superficial. It's just superficially showing that. So things that you can't do should never be done. But right now, I am breaking it down in that form within the form. So I won't say that's my mistake. Especially in the case of capturing techniques, I will use the breakdown from earlier. But try holding with both hands, it goes smoothly, right? It's this part, not here, but you take this. By doing this, you can feel the technique. In the current form, I use this, but originally, the opponent follows and enters like this. Enter like this and come over here. This is the old way. Originally, the old way was to grab the chin and hair. Nowadays, basically you can't use techniques like this in all rules. Teachers, it's fine if you understand that such techniques exist. If a strong person twists the neck, and that at the same time no one can resist. I mentioned this in Cipher as well. The neck is strong in linear motion, of forward, backward, and left-right, but very fragile in rotational motion. So, wait a moment. There is a person with long hair. Please stabilize for a moment. I'm showing this with Cipher. The current rotational movement is similar, so we generally do it. Resist when I pull. Hang in there. You can hold on. Please also support sideways. I can still hold on. Then after I hugged him a little, it's not like men love each other, but after hugging him with 2 fingers, I'll try twisting, so resist if you can. The fragility of human beings. I took this now, but here too. I could hold on before and after. Can you hold on to this? You can't hold on. So understanding what is weak in the structure of the human body, what is weak and what is weak. You have to do the shoulders. I didn't work on my shoulders. I just did the form. So I understand that it doesn't count as training my shoulders. I will finish the course to the best of my ability.